Yesterday, I went to the varsity match between them and Claredon FC. It was a great match. It was brilliant and it was lovely. I enjoyed the match, but unfortunately, this is completely unrelated to the match. It was cold because of the wind. The wind was freezing. I was I wasn't prepared for that. My clothing wasn't good enough to shield me from the cold. So it's also some of other spectators and fans that is standing beside the field. Anyway, that is not the main topic. The main topic for today is how the match went. The match started at about 2 o'clock. Uh, Thanks to the ref who was prompt and also very unbiased. I was really happy with the officiating. If we could be getting that kind of ref every match, that would be really great. The reason why I said this is because the other refs, a lot of the refs that have been sent, before they come, they're already biased. But yesterday was different. It was a young lad who doesn't really give a shit which side is which. He just want to blow and also enjoy the game, and he did. None of the two sides really complains about the ref. We all know that in football there's always going to be moaning and yelling. No matter what the ref does, he will never please some of the teams. Sometimes, being human, is likely to favor one side more than the others. You can't always get it right. Sometimes you don't see things the right way, but as the ref, you've got to take hold of the situation. If you don't, you're going to be screamed at and even bullied. Not physically, but they want you to always give them what they want. But yesterday was not the same. It's in the issue. Things that the ref sees, he blows. Things he doesn't see, he continues. That's how it should be. So kudos to the ref. I enjoyed the game. I enjoy how he officiated. I hope and I wish that in the future, refs like this is going to be officiating our match. So yesterday match, as usual, the varsity started very slow. It was difficult for them to come out of their half, even though they were fighting against the wind. They couldn't get hold of the match. The wind was so immense that even when you kick the ball, at that pace, it doesn't demand the ball to be kicked as high as they were doing yesterday. So anytime they kick the ball higher, the winds bring it back. So most of the first half was played in the half of the varsity. There were some, counter-attack, one or two or three there, but that wasn't enough to kind of discourage the Claredon players towards their own 18, so that the game will be played in the center of the field. So, like usual, the varsity considered the first goal, and they continued to try their best to fight the wind, but it didn't work out for them. We had our chances, but they couldn't take it. So that is mostly the story of the first half. The second half, this time around, we are not fighting against the wind anymore. It's their turn to do the fighting. So most of the things, the wind was in our favor. The guys play their heart out. Our attack wasn't that great and brilliant because we weren't pushing them hard enough. We weren't contesting much for the ball. So thanks to the substitute that was made, players like Chris and other players that came in, they changed the game a little bit, and we equalized. First goal, and then comes the second goal. So I don't want to be specific because I want to attribute that victory to all the teams. There were some good players, some individual brilliance that led to go, some assist that leads to go. So kudos to those players. They know themselves. Well, this is how we want diversity to be, securing the victory every week. Unfortunately, it might not always be like that, but because football, like in boxing, styles make fight. Every team has their different ways of playing. Some teams are more offensive than the others. Some teams sit back, defend, and then counter attack. Some teams are just opportunistic. If you afford them that opportunity, they will take it and score. If you're not careful enough, once they score, we just sit back and defend and wait for the next opportunity. I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud of how they performed yesterday, given that for some past 2 or 3 games, we've not been up to the usual standard. The varsity hasn't been up to their top speed. But it's good to, even yesterday's match, our performance wasn't good enough. But at the same time, it's good to be victorious again, to have that feelings of, winning. Our last match wasn't good enough. We lost to Ovenden and we drew. So that is, we lost a lot of points within the course of 1 month. Besides the inconsistency in the availability of players, simply put in simple words, different players in different games, except for few who turns up regularly. There is also player fitness, player domestic or work commitment, and many other issues. Personally, if you ask me, I think that lack of training is one of the causes, because you need to train. Beside individual training, as a team, I believe you've got to train. That can foster more trust and brotherhood. At least you get to know really how your teams are playing, and some of the teams get to know how good they are and how competitive they are to play for certain positions. If you know you're not doing good, you definitely know you're not doing good, that someone is better than you. What's left to do? The next thing you will do is try to get better, try to, be a better player than your teammate, so that in matches you'll be able to surpass, and contribute to the team's victory. That is my personal opinion. It could be anything. I believe that training doesn't help the team. Not training doesn't help the team. Then why are the professionals training almost 2 or 3 times in a week? Because no matter how good you are, you're never good enough. You still have to, even if you are good, you have to maintain that consistency. And by training, that can really maintain your consistency. You can learn 1 or 2 things every time you train. There are things you don't see when you train. You can do the same thing 10 times and you're still not good at it. Maybe the 11th time you realize the principle behind it, and it'll be easy for you to do. So, like they said, practice makes perfect. Training is very important. Train individually and training as a team is good. That is my personal opinion. A lot of us might have something different, which might also be correct. Let's see what happens. I think for us as diversity, it's time for them to be aiming for the higher. We've not won the league since diversity started. I think it's time we aim higher and win the league. And you can't win the league if you don't put on the work. You don't win trophies. You need to work for it. Things doesn't just come and fall in your laps. If you don't work for it, you can't succeed. Hard work and dedications produce the positive results. And also, the more we come together, the more we communicate, the more we bond, and the more we, get to know and respect each other. If we don't, we're not changing anything. I know it's hard for some people. They've got to work. They've got domestic activities, commitments. But for those who come, that's still good enough. That is still good enough. For some players, they have to come and play. I'm sure a lot of players are having difficulties when it comes to match because they know in their mind they are not fit. When you come to play a match and you know you're not fit, it is always in your head when when you are in a game. When your mind are not always free, if you've got problems with your nail, anytime you want to run, it comes to your mind, and then that will make you to, okay, I'm not going to run, because you know that any step you take is going to lead to pain. So thereby limiting your activities. You know you can do better, but you just don't want to do it because you want to avoid that painful situation, or you do not want to exacerbate that injury. For those who have problem with running, fitness wise, what is the need for you to run and then get tired and not able to, track back? So they limit the way they run. They limit the way they run, and that either doesn't help the team. So, but if we train, we are on point. You don't have to be 100% fit, but if we're like 90% fit all the time, we know that at least we are fit. And when we come into the match, we come in with positive attitude. We don't. That fitness issue doesn't bother us anymore. The other things that bother us is things like, okay, how am I going to cross this ball? How am I going to make this pass? So you see, that part of issues have gone out of your mind. Then when it comes to training, you know that crossing the ball is the issue for you. Then you practice, but in training and your individual time, you train about crossing the ball, about passing the ball, or about ball control. When you are good at all those things, you don't have to be 100%, like I said earlier. Then when it comes to match, these things doesn't bother you anymore. When the ball comes to you, you're very confident of controlling the ball. The things that comes to your mind is where to find your players, where to find your teammates. You believe me, you can. At that point, at that level, at that situation, you play better than with those issues bundling you down. So that's why I always emphasize more on training, because if you don't train, those people who are fit, if your opponent are more fitter than you, they're going to keep on putting pressure on you until they break you, because they know that you're not. If your opponent knows that you can't run, he doesn't need to dribble you. You know that all he needs to do is just kick the ball forward and run, because you can't match up with him when it comes to that. So my take is train individually, and I advise the team to also train collectively, because that will help foster that team spirit. Congratulations to Diversity once again, and I hope that in your next match they will perform even better. So kudos to you guys. If you haven't subscribed, I know it's been a long time I haven't created any content. The reason being that I've got some health issue, injuries over, and also it takes me a lot of time to edit these videos. So, and at some point it just become tired of it. I think I'm tired of it. If anyone knows how to edit, you can always hit me up, and we can work together. I can do the shooting and someone do the edit. That would be great. So anything other than that, if you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like this content, or if anything I'm saying at all make any sense, let me know and give us a thumbs up. That would be great. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Peace out.